So today we're going to be making a bit of an unexpected change to my Superior here. I haven't ridden this bike in 3 months because I broke my collarbone on it, but today we are going to be bringing this thing back to life so I can get ripping on it. And the unexpected change is we're going to be taking off this custom short seat stay that the fine folks at Ari made for myself and a few of the other athletes. So with this seat stay, it's a 430 millimeter chainstay length. And then with the stock seat stay, which we have here and we will be reinstalling, it is a 444 mil chainstay length. So why are we going back to the longer one? Well, I'd been really excited for the short chainstay as soon as I got on this bike earlier this year. But now that I'm just building back to my riding level where I was at pre-injury, I want to be riding the setup I knew before, and that was the long chainstay, because I put the short chainstay on literally one ride before I crashed and broke myself. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do some new wheels. We're gonna bleed my brakes. We're gonna reset my brake pads because they've glazed over by just sitting in the garage for a few months here. So yeah, let's hop in and get this bike ready to rip. So to start off today's video, we're going to swap out the seat stay because that's probably the biggest job. And here is a look at the current seat stay that's on the bike. So the seat stay is this part with the Shimano sticker, and this is a shorter length one, which gives us the shorter chainstay. So this chainstay with the short flip chip setting is 430 millimeters. So it's really cool. You can do the big change with the seat stay to drop the chainstay length from this one in the short setting gives you 440 mil length chainstay, where this one gives you 430, so full 14 mils of adjustment, and then you can do a smaller adjustment with this installed with the flip chip. So all sorts of really cool adjustment there, which is just really exciting to have, and I'm really thankful that the guys at Ari made us those seat stays. It's not something that you can buy the short one, but the long one feels really great on the bike as well. And to be honest, I know I touched on this in my Superior Peak bike check, which I'll drop down below in the description in case you want to check that out. But I never thought I'd like a longer rear end on my freeride bike. So with a 440 mil chainstay at 444, that's the longest chainstay I've ever ridden for doing like 360 drops and things. And I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, and I was a little nervous like when I first signed with Ari about it earlier this year. And then I ended up like really loving it. So I'm really excited to test this longer seat stay and the shorter seat stay back to back. So we're gonna build back up to my riding level to where I was kind of at before, just with the bike setup I knew that I was riding all last winter and through the spring, which is the longer back end. And then once I'm feeling really comfortable and ready to kind of mix things up, I'm gonna do some back-to-back testing with the short seat stay in 430 mil chainstay length and then the longer one. So I think that's really cool. I've never had the chance to really do like a back-to-back chainstay length testing with such a big change, like flip chips, yes, but not changing like a whole component on the bike. So yeah, super excited to get my riding on the downhill bike back to where I want it to be, and then doing some good learning with the different chainstay lengths on here. So all sorts of fun stuff to look forward to. But for now, let's slap this bike up in the stand and get this back end changed out.
Smoking cigarettes while I am trying to breathe. Don't ask me why, it just makes sense to me. Who I'm a fool, babe. Who I'm a fool, babe. I'm calling out and I just don't feel okay. But I never wanna know what you're gonna say. I'm afraid, and it's here in a parking lot.
All right, so we've got the short seat stay off now. Bike is looking pretty funky, but the nice part about this whole process is that the internal cable routing for the rear disc brake here is through the chainstay. So I don't need to bleed my brake or anything like that. Don't even have to cut the chain. I can just take off the seat stay. So that's really, really cool. So here is the long one, here is the short one. I'm gonna clean up all the bolts. I'm going to re-Loctite some of the bolts that I like too, such as, where are they here? Like the little chainstay flip chips. There's like little 3mm bolts. So I like to toss some Loctite on those threads just to make sure they don't come loose and things like that. So I'm gonna clean everything up right now and then we'll put it all back together. When I take out bolts that were previously Loctited, I like to scrape out the threads for any of the chunky Loctite bits that are still in there. So I just use a pick like this, and you just want to be careful not to prick yourself when the pick slips. But I do this and then I reapply the blue Loctite just to make sure everything is as dialed as possible. So we have the bolts all prepped, so Loctited up on some of them, greased up on some. And we've also cleaned up the bearings on this seat stay and greased them up. And I just wanted to give a quick piece of advice for anyone who's taking apart a frame that has washers that cover the bearing. So what I've found, and I've had a bunch of frames that have been like this throughout my entire career, is if you put a little bit of extra grease kind of on the bearing, it's an unnecessary amount of grease, but then when you go and you toss on the little washer on top, see if I can get it there to focus, and put it on there. Actually, this one goes down here, sorry. But when you put that on there, the grease will just allow the two to stick together well. So then when you go to slide that into the chainstay, the washers will have a pretty good chance to stay together on the seat stay and slide in there. Sometimes it can just be such a mess trying to get everything sandwiched in there together. So that's not an Ari specific thing by any means. I've had tons of bikes from a ton of different manufacturers since I started working on bikes when I was 15 years old that have done that. So, but I find the grease to work pretty well. It's not perfect. Sometimes it can still be a bit of a pain in the butt, but it'll get you kind of close-ish, I hope. So yeah, let's go ahead and slap this all back together.
I just wanna lie down, and I'm here instead. Jack, you're just being dramatic.
Seat stay is all swapped over now. Bolts are torqued to spec and it is looking really, really good. So next up is we're going to swap over to some new wheels. So here's the wheel that I've been running. This is a Arc 30 race face rim to their Volt hub J-bend. I built these in January and I've spent the last few months riding them. And the wheels have been fabulous. I've been absolutely thrashing them. If you watched my last free ride edit called All We've Ever Wanted, which will be linked down in the description, you'll see kind of the type of riding I've been doing on the wheels, and they've been fine. But as I've progressed in my wheel building and helped some other people build similar sets, I have found out that my spokes are too short. So the wheels have been fine, but for safety, I just want to run some wheels that are properly put together. So we're swapping over to these wheels, which are just a stock set of the Race Face Atlas rims. So full Race Face Atlas wheel set. So this is going to be basically a really similar wheel to that, but this is just to a straight pull hub and the Atlas rim. So that's the program. The tires are still in pretty good shape. They're a little dirty, but I'm just going to slap the same tires on for the sake of not wasting parts. And then we're going to swap the rotors over and be on our way here. So let's get this rolling.
What I'm talking about. I am feeling so low and my thoughts are low. Can you save me, babe? Can you save me, babe? And it's 2 in a parking lot. Act like I'm fine, but I know that I'm not. I'm calling it quits, just wanna feel alright. Guess I'll try another day. Why is it already light out? I just wanna lie down, and I'm here instead. Jack, you're just being dramatic. I'm officially gone now. call your name to get your attention, but in my mind you're fenced in. Babe, I'm a fool.
Here are the wheels all set up. I did end up opting for some fresh tires on here. I went with the same exact tire combo, so DHR and Assegai, downhill casing in the rear with a Tubolito tube and an Assegai in the front with a tubeless setup and EXO Plus casing. So the reason I do that, less rotational weight for bar spins, and the reason I do the tube is you don't want to ever do a 360 or something and then burp your tire. So that's why I run the light tube in the back. So that's the wheel setup that we're rolling with. So that is going to be nice and dialed. Now the final thing that's kind of major that we're going to do today is my brake pads have glazed over just from sitting for so long. So we're going to reset these with some sandpaper. So this is, I think it's 180 grit, I believe. You always want to do this on a flat surface. So what I'm going to do, take the pad, go down like this, and then I scrub it just until it's all fresh material. Then I'll just rebed those puppies in, and then we'll be ready to rock. So yeah, we're just gonna do those brake pads, toss these wheels on the bike, and then it's gonna be time to start riding the downhill bike again. So yeah, it's been, I think, like 3 months since I've ridden this thing, so I'm really looking forward to getting back on it this week. So let's wrap up this last little bit of work here. So that is a Shimano resin pad, all reset and ready to rock. Also worth noting, when I do this, I also clean the rotors down with 99% alcohol, so it's just a full reset, and then I just go through the bedding process, and those resin pads bed in really well. So yeah, gonna have some ripping brakes here in no time. And there we have it. The Superior is all prepped and ready to rip. Really, really looking forward to getting back out on the downhill bike. So we got the wheels looking good. We got the yellow Maxxis logo in the back, then went for the white Maxxis logo in the front. So little mix up there, looking nice and crispy. And then a little bit of different branding on these wheels with the silver Atlas and the silver race face right in there. And I think it looks nice, complements the bike well, I'd say. So yeah, just gonna do a few other quick things off camera. We're gonna swap from the race face Atlas pedal to the new turbine pedal. I'm gonna just fix, like, my spacers aren't lined up from when I crashed, my bar's twisted. So little things like that. I think I'll probably just do a quick lever bleed on the brakes just to make sure everything's mint, and then I'll double check my suspension pressures, do a full general bolt check. But in terms of the big projects, you know, swapping over the seat stay was the biggest one, and then obviously setting up the new wheels, and I'll bed these brakes in as well. So yeah, that's just a kind of a quick look at some of the maintenance that I did through the bike after it sat for a long time. And a lot of this stuff is just general maintenance, especially with the brake pads. Like, sometimes if they glaze over like that, I don't think I've ever talked about that in a video, just how to correct that. So I wanted to put that out there. And yeah, I hope you guys were able to pick up a few little tips and tricks throughout today's video, and you found it helpful, from, you know, the grease on the seat stay with those little washers, resetting the brake pads and things like that. I hope you're able to pick up from the video and take into your own bike mechanicking, I guess you could call it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week for another upload. Peace.